Hello, welcome back guys, and today I have something a little more simple and a little more straightforward. So, what does this thing rock in here? Well, it's got a 4th Gen i5, a AMD Firepro W7000. This is actually don't know how well you can see there, my lighting isn't great, but this is a Barco card. 10 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, and nothing too special. It costs $60 to build. So this PC is probably something that would honestly piss Linus off for so many reasons. Also, my desk is very chaotic. As you can see, got a lot of shit going on here. So let's go into this. So as you can see, computer, it's literally just, and yes, there are two power supplies. So the reason I have two power supplies is actually because this is a Lenovo ThinkCentre M93P, and it came in a small form factor case, which I'm going to show you in a second. This thing, which there's no motherboard or anything in it because, well, why do I need it? As you can see, it's a Intel Core i5, clocked at 3.2 gigahertz, 4 core, 10 gigabytes of RAM. It has two 1 terabyte SSDs. One is running Windows, the other's running Arch Linux. Now, the reason I dual boot is because I don't want to deal with certain compatibility issues with. I mainly use Windows for like playing games. This is actually Tiny 11. I didn't install stock Windows 11. But yeah, as you can see, my graphics card, the AMD Firepro W7000. Now, the cool thing about this card is the card was $40, but it punches well above its weight in terms of performance compared to what I paid for it. I could throw Grand Theft Auto 5 at it, no problem. I could throw COD Zombies at it, no problem. The Forest. Hell, any game, any mid-tier game that I could ever want to play, because I'm not really a big gamer, but I do have games. Anything I want to throw at it, this computer handles without any problems. Let's see. So there's actually some. Of course, I have Dolphin. I could throw Counter-Strike at it. Probably will throw Counter-Strike, but it's not installed. Dolphin, Forest, GTA 4 and 5. Paint the town red. And I don't really have that big of a game library, but besides the point. So, this thing really handles well. Like, it's not gonna be no 64 core Threadripper with a RTX 4090 levels of performance, obviously. But for a budget computer, you can literally do this yourself. For a budget computer under $100 that will play games, that will do video editing, and this computer is perfect. Okay, so now we're going to do a CPU benchmark and GPU benchmark. So my CPU scored an 1124 in Cinebench on single core and 2778 in multi-core. And my GPU scored a 17,616 in Cinebench. Now let's throw some games at this thing. Now, I will not be recording from OBS on this computer because unfortunately it isn't quite powerful enough to play both a game and record at the same time. but it is powerful enough to play the game, as you can see. Flawless. Now, I have the resolution set to 2K instead of 4K. This is a 4K TV. However, when I set it to 4K, because of the display adapter I have, specifically the display port to HDMI, it caps at 24 hertz. So, it is not a pleasant experience. But, now let's turn the radio off. But as you can see, it handles quite well. Now, I'm gonna just crash into this guy real quick, cause a little mayhem. Beat this guy up. And I'm gonna take his truck. Oh, and he's chasing after me. Funny. So, yeah. That's Grand Theft Auto. Ooh, the Russian guy. So yeah, this is COD Zombies. As you can see, quite playable. So we're just gonna run around. As you can see, I can okay, where are the zombies? This one, oh, here we go. Just for the doctor orders. Oops. I still suck at this game. So yeah. Gonna do one round real quick. Just to show that it's quite playable. Okay, now we go on to the next game. Okay, for whatever reason, the forest wouldn't go on to the TV, but as you can see, this is more than playable. And the thing is, you don't really need to spend hundreds of dollars on a gaming PC. Now, here's the thing. Generally speaking, and this is more so from my experience than anything I've researched, pro graphics cards are going to be a lot cheaper than consumer graphics card. Like, you might buy an NVIDIA Quadro for a couple $100 cheaper than a GTX or an RTX. And there's just not a lot, there's not as much consumer demand for them because most people are looking for something. Most people who are buying those cards are looking for something very specific, not, oh, I want to play games on it, let me buy this card. And to be fair, something like a Radeon Pro or a Quadro or a Firepro is not really meant to play games. Can it play games? Absolutely. But that's not the core target audience of what it's trying to be. Now let's go into some emulation real quick. Okay. There is a bit of lag when it emulates Wii games. It's not perfect when emulating. I think this handles native games better. but it's still more than playable. I'm also kind of getting my ass kicked. But yeah. Yeah, and that happened. But yeah, it's definitely more than capable, and for the price, this is honestly the way to go. Especially if you're constrained on your budget. Well then, should you spend your money on something like this instead of splurging for an RTX 4090 or something? Well, honestly, no. So then what's the moral of the story, you may ask? Well, the moral of the story is that you can generally find better value and bang for your buck shopping on the pro graphics card side of things rather than the consumer ones. And honestly, like, especially if you want a competent computer that's honestly a powerhouse in its own right, but don't have a lot of money to put into it, by all means, get one of these shitty think centers that are on sale on eBay for 20 bucks. Take it out of the case and slap in a graphics card from old medical imaging equipment. It will definitely impress you. I've been using this thing for a year, and honestly, I am more than impressed. Now, the biggest bottleneck in this computer right now is actually the CPU. It's a 4th gen i5. It's not the most powerful thing, it gets the job done. But at the end of the day, tailor your build to what your needs are and what your constraints are. But if you're like me and don't really want to spend $3,000 on a graphics card, maybe if you're on Team Green, a Quadro, or if you're on Team Red or Radeon Pro, go with it. Honestly, you'll be saving yourself a lot of money. And look for old server computers as well. Like, I'm looking at the ThinkStation P520. It's got a 6-core Xeon in it. Pretty damn good price on it too, under $200. I can get one with 32 gigs of RAM. I have to put in the SSD and the graphics card myself, but I already have the graphics card, so there's that. But at the end of the day, it's about knowing where to look. And honestly, where did I get all of this? Which I may or may not have covered before. eBay. eBay is your best bet for finding cheap, run-of-the-mill parts if you want to put something together cheaply and like get other people's old crap and make something special out of it, then go to eBay. You want something shiny, brand new? Well, there's other places for that, but this is really the budget gaming PC. And I'm calling him Recycle Timmy. Alright, that's it today. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys may consider where to spend your next $3,000. Alright, goodbye now.